Yes, well, I personally, I think that you have a rare opportunity with the Bronx right now to almost set or create a template for other communities around the country to follow. Like I've lived in Washington Heights and Upper Manhattan for over 30 years. My neighborhood is just being completely overrun by corporate. They've, one friend of mine, Nick, who actually has now had to move his store over to Morris Park here in the Bronx, but he had his store for over 30 years there. He put his kids through school and college, and then they ran him out. You know, they from $5,000 a month up to like $20,000 a month, which he couldn't afford. Him, the tailor that was next to him, that mom and pop shop out, the pharmacy on the corner out, and they're warehousing all of these in the hopes that a 7-Eleven will come in, or they can get another Bank of America or something like this. And I'm so tired of that. You have an opportunity, I think, here to, I understand the need for economic, that you need corporate stores to establish themselves here. But there's got to be a way of balancing, rather than taking over and kicking out the mom and pop shops, that it would enhance them. Like that it would, like maybe a corporation would come in and bring in the traffic that would help build up the mom and pop shops around it.
So there is a balance, right? And not only with mom and pop stores, but also with regards to housing.
Yes.
Right? And it brings you to the ugly G word, gentrification. So when you look at all of the development that's happened throughout the city, we've been last, right? Everyone is paying attention to us now. Right. And many people took exception to that. But I always tell folks, relax. It's not a bad thing being last, because we get to learn the good things that have happened, and we get to see how we can do things differently where it hurt other communities like Harlem, like downtown Brooklyn, Flatbush, and so on and so forth. So what we've been able to do is, going first on with mom and pop stores, we work with the Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation, which is the economic arm of this office. And they have a program called the BIC, the Business Initiative Corporation, which loans money to small businesses so they can enhance their stores, buy equipment, so they can keep up with the times, and so they can be more and more inviting to the public. And it's worked. We do that to the tune of tens of millions of dollars a year. We continue to protect them. We continue to sign off on bids, the business improvement districts and different shopping strips, like Belmont, like we've done in the hub on 3rd Avenue, like we've done in Southern Boulevard, Fordham, so on and so forth, because with that you get different programs so that it assists them. Fordham Row is one of the largest shopping strips in the entire city. In fact, that's the reason why when there was this whole conversation initially about the Kingsbridge Armory to be an indoor mall, remember that we beat that back, we said no to that on the Bloomberg before we got the ICE Center to come in there. One of my pet peeves, or one of my concerns was not just that they didn't want to pay a living wage, but that a mall one train station away from Fordham would have devastated the business in Fordham.
That's true.
The mom and pop stores.
Right.
So, but it doesn't mean that I don't support a mall. We did the mall in the East Bronx, where mom and pop stores are not, right? So there's a time and place for everything. You just got to plan. You got to plan with a purpose. And we're doing that. In terms of housing, what we have done, we continue to do low income, affordable housing, and where we have rezoned, we do it wanting higher incomes in some areas, like Port Morris, or higher of AMI, the area medium income, and home ownership. But what happens? Where we rezone, no one lives there now. So we're not kicking anybody out.
Oh, that's amazing.
There's no eminent domain. In fact, the reason why people don't live there now is because they can't, because it's an industrial zone. And no one has lived there.
Right.
And the businesses that were there before, all they did was pollute the environment. So, and many of them want to get out of those businesses, whether they were waste transfer stations, garages for trucks. so on and so forth. These people want to get out that business, so we rezone those areas.
Oh, that's amazing.
So and even if we are doing high, mixed income housing, the reason why we do that is because I don't subscribe to the notion that you must kick one community out to bring another one in. In fact, what's been happening in the Bronx for so many years is that our professionals, they get an education, they get a career, and they leave. And when they leave, they take with them their buying power. They take with them their employment status. So we, for so many years, had continued to be number one in unemployment, number one in poverty. What I want to do is to create the type of housing, while we're still doing the lower income housing, but to create the type of housing where we make it compelling, where we make it affordable for our professional class, so that we could retain the skilled workforce here.
Absolutely.
We don't want to lose them to another borough. We don't want to lose them to another part of the state or to another state even. And what happens with many of these folks, if you have a couple, 2 incomes, one is a bus driver, one is a teacher, one is a crossing guard, and the one is a police officer, they make too much money for the lower income housing units, and they don't make enough to buy a home or a condo. So they take their marbles, Tim, and they leave.
Yeah.
They get out the game of being in the Bronx. And most of them don't want to leave. They love being here. They grew up here. There's something about being from the Bronx, right?
There is a lot of pride in the
Bronx. But then they'll say, oh, well, look, I'm making money, but they don't let me in that building because they say I make too much even though I'm struggling with my partner or my spouse. Or I want to buy a house, but I don't have enough for the 20% down, or I don't have the credit, or what have you. Or the bank won't give me the loan that I need to purchase this house or this apartment. So we need to do more income, a higher of AMI, mixed income, market rate, so that we can retain our professionals, so that real Bronxites live there. And we've done this already. We've done this in Villaverde on the hub, and we're doing it now with La Central, and more is coming. So we've been able to do this where folks live there, but they're still Bronxites. They've always been Bronxites. And look, are other people from other boroughs going to come here? Sure. It's the way of the city, right?
Yeah.
You're getting people from all over the city that they'll say, oh, let me go and move into the Bronx. We welcome that, but what we don't want to do is for that to happen in a way where we're forcing people from living and tearing them apart with regards to their families.
I love that. I absolutely love that. It's so well thought out. And again, it's a growth, and that's exactly what I was saying. Like it can be a template for other cities to follow. I find you to be such an innovative leader, and caring, and passionate. I mean, I can't think of all the good words that I want to throw out when describing you, but I'm so grateful for you. Now, do you have any new initiatives or anything that you want to share that we haven't covered yet?
Well, we are working diligently to make sure that we have 4 Metro North stations in the eastern corridor of the Bronx, so stay tuned for that.
Okay.
We managed to get the state to put it as part, and the MTA to put it as part of the 5-year capital plan. They've already allocated $750 million towards it. The governor put in $250 million of his own money, so we want to thank him for that. We have a ferry service. We convinced the city that a ferry stop in the ferry route is good for the Classen Point section of the Bronx as well. We are working on a revolving green fund initiative where we're putting public dollars, mix them in with private investors so that we can retrofit buildings that are the #1 culprits of air pollution, so that they can retrofit their buildings after they've been analyzed holistically, have people put them to work so that they can go and install the green materials, clean up those buildings, at the same time allow for there to be such a cost energy savings that hopefully it would hold the line on rents. So this is another innovative way for us to keep rent affordable. So stay tuned for that. That's happening as well.
Well, once again, I so appreciate you taking some time and chatting with us. Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. Once again, I didn't even think it was possible, but I'm more impressed with you now that we've taken some time to chat than I was before. But just continue following your heart and follow the love. You love the Bronx, you enjoy what you do, and just continue enjoying it.
And for those that are going to be seeing this, I just want to say, look, if you haven't been to the Bronx in a long time, forget what you remember, forget what you heard. Do your research. I'm the borough president. Obviously, I'm going to talk up some good things. Don't take my word for it. Go to the internet, read some of the stories that many of major media outlets have written about the business that are here. We have breweries, the Bronx Brewery, we have Gun Hill Brewery, we have the Port Morris Distillery. There's so much that is happening. We have a beach. We have institutions like the Poe Cottage, like the Bartow Pell Mansion. We have Wave Hill. We're more than just the Yankees, the Botanical Garden, and the Bronx Zoo, but you can go to that as well. Go to ilovethebronx.com. We have so many restaurants. Our nightlife is a robust one. Go to the new NYPD and check out CompStats, and you'll see that in comparison to last year, while the city is seeing an increase in major crime categories, the Bronx is going down. So those increases, that's not us. We're safer than we've been in a long time. Come and check us out. Help us by stimulating our local economy and get a new experience. Come and rediscover the Bronx.
Absolutely, absolutely. Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr., thank you so very much.
Thank you, Tim.
Good to see you.